Yo, what is going on, guys? So we've got a bit of an interesting story for you here today. We often talk about on the channel how it is a terrible idea for men to get married. I believe the latest statistic was something like 6 in 1,000 men are actually marrying modern day women, because there are so many reasons why it's a terrible idea. But you know what, guys? On today's episode, we're going to be adding another one to the list. And we have a story where a woman gets a divorce from her husband. I believe he had an affair or something like that. But she gets a divorce. She gets, the paperwork all done and dusted. And what does she decide to do, guys? She decides to, well, of course, jump back into the dating market at 47 years of age and make up for lost time. Okay, we're going to be getting into this story momentarily here, guys. But one of the things that she says is that you cannot judge her. I, for one, gentlemen, as an animated vampire on the internet, I believe in judgment. I believe that it is important to judge the people that you choose to allow into your life, because there are all sorts of crazy people out there. Now, if you're a dude who wants to go out there dating and have a relationship with a girl who's divorced at 47 and goes around from bad boy to bad boy, I mean, be my guest, it is just not going to turn out good for you. So we have this article here written by a woman named Anna Davies, and it's the year 2022, and it's titled, "What I Learned from Sleeping with 8 Men in a Year After My Messy Divorce at 47. Now, guys, whenever we read these stories, okay, and girls share their counts, as it were, I never really believe them, to be honest with you. Anytime a girl says to me, oh, here's my count, you really have to do some strange mathematics to it to actually get the correct answer, and you'll never really know if the answer is correct. So she says that she's gone out here, she's gotten with 8 dudes. Fine, let's just assume that it's actually 8 and get into the story here. It says, Laura Williams was living her dream life. 3 children, a devoted husband, a Manhattan apartment, and a country house when her husband dropped the bomb that he was having an affair. The confession came out of left field. The pair had known each other since college and had been married for 22 years. She says, our bedroom fun life wasn't great anymore. There wasn't really any passion between us, but I had expected that, says Williams, who adds that she had anticipated growing old besides her ex. We're going to come back to this in a second. She promptly ordered him out of the house, began divorce proceedings, and 5 months later was dating again, making up for lost time. I was a 47-year-old and I expected to be with the same man for the rest of my life, she says, and she's now 51 years of age and living in downtown Manhattan. So let's break this down, guys, and kind of jump through what was said here. So they had no bedroom fun. There wasn't any passion between the two of them. Now, guys, I am not saying that cheating is the right thing to do, okay? I don't care what gender you are. I think cheating on someone is an absolutely terrible thing to do. But let's talk about this for a second. If you have a dude in a marriage and he's working his butt off and he's going out there, he's paying the bills, okay? He's doing his best to provide shelter for his wife and his family, okay? And he comes home and he experiences perhaps a lack of bedroom fun, repeated nagging, and this man cannot leave the relationship because he's going to lose his kids, he's going to lose the house, he's going to, lose whatever else, his assets, his money, whatever. A lot of guys will say, look, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get with another girl. Now, it's not right, guys. It's not morally correct. It's not the right thing to do. But the problem is, when dudes get married, they've essentially entered into a contract that screws them over. Women are incentivized for breaking the marriage contract. If a guy does it himself, guys, there is so much for a man to lose when he goes into these situations. It is downright disgusting. I've heard so many stories, guys, like over on Patreon and things, dudes share stories to me, and they'll say, look, I married my wife, and when we got married, things just changed. Like, it was all well and good up until the point where we got married, but as soon as I gave her that commitment, that ring, things started to get a little bit worse. I've heard plenty of stories where dudes say the same thing with relationships. When they finally go about committing to a girl, then all of a sudden they get treated terribly, because oftentimes the women feel as though they have the commitment and they have the power, which, in marriage, they certainly do have the power. So here we have this woman here who's the woman in the story, and I don't know what it is with these ladies and just the most cringe, decorations possible. She has a decoration over here that says everything will be fine. Okay, you could not possibly cope harder in a photo, but as you can see, she's smiling here, guys. She's working in front of her laptop, and it says, after finding herself single at 47 after 22 years of marriage, Laura Williams started to make up for lost time and found a new freedom in dating. You guessed it, guys. It is liberating to go out there and to get with a bunch of men. Can you guys imagine, right? Bit of a different scenario here. You break up with your wife, you know, things end for whatever reason. Okay, I don't know, maybe she has to go out there and find herself, and she just gets with 8 dudes in a year. Like, really, guys, I would consider that not really bullet dodged, because you've already been married by that point, but you never really know who you're dealing with. Like, girls will say all this crap about love and I care for my husband and all this, and I would never do this and I would never do that. But when the relationship dissipates, when things come to an end, it's straight onto Tinder, straight onto Bumble, straight onto Hinge, making up for lost time. The article continues. As she began picking up the pieces of her shattered life, she saw an opportunity. Because she had never really dated in her 20s, she wanted to make up for lost time. In other words, because she didn't go get with a whole bunch of random dudes, she figures now's the time to do that. Interesting. I love how, guys, like this sleight of hand occurs with the wording, right? Because they can never truly be honest about what's happening with these, you know, in these articles or these stories. They won't ever say, look, she's going out there, she's going to smash a whole bunch of dudes, and that's what it is. No, of course not. She has to say, oh, she never really had the chance to date and explore herself in 20s, and they'll say some crap like that when really all it means is she's going out there getting with a whole bunch of random dudes, which, guys, like, it's totally fine. If she wants to go out there and she wants to make that decision, who am I to say no? Okay, it's her life. She can go out there. She can do whatever the hell she wants. The problem that I have is dishonest language like this, where we as men read this, and perhaps the dudes who are a little bit more naive think, oh yeah, you know, she's just making up for lost time. She's just going out there dating. You know, but the truth of the matter is a lot of these guys are not taking these women on dates. There's nothing traditional about this quote unquote dating. It's basically just hooking up with random men. So let's continue here. It says, you now have the freedom to do whatever you want, Williams told the Post about her revelation. If you want to get with 2 men on the same day, you can. If you want to have certain things in the middle of the day, you are free to do so. The only person who can judge you is yourself, and if you're fine with it, screw everyone else. Guys, I don't understand what is with this narcissistic attitude that we see in the year 2022, right? I'm going to pull this up again. I'm going to highlight this. Look at this sentence right here. If you're fine with it, screw everyone else. What a terrible life motto. Guys, can you imagine if you were going through your life, okay, and your decisions were based off of, hey, if it feels good, if I want to do it, it's totally fine, screw everyone else. Like, can you imagine the effect that that kind of thinking would have on your family, would have on your friends, the people around you, where you're saying, you know what, I'm going to do what's best for me, screw everyone else no matter what. Which, you know, there's something to be said for doing what's best for you, sure, but screw everyone else in the process. Yeah, it doesn't really work like that. And this sentence right here is a beautiful thing as well, guys. She says, the only person who can judge you is yourself. That is actually factually not true. We probably have thousands of people watching this episode on YouTube, and I guarantee a good portion of them are probably judging you for your decision. And guys, the thing is, I don't have anything against men judging people. I think that men ought to judge people more. The amount of dudes that I see in relationships with women who treat them poorly, with women who treat them terribly. That's not to say all women are going to treat men terribly, but the amount of terrible relationships I see, and guys get out of the relationship, they get cheated on, and dudes just be asking the stupidest questions like, oh, do I have the right to feel upset after my wife cheated on me? Like, guys, where is the sense of self-respect? Where is men's judgment for the people that they choose to allow into their life? I have absolutely no idea. We got the smiling photo here of the lady, you know, with the dog. I'm surprised it's not a cat. I expect that she probably does have some cats, you know, because photos like these, guys, like it's a bit of a running meme, but these single ladies who say that they're happy and they're enjoying life at 51 years of age, going out there dating a whole bunch of dudes, oftentimes you'll see in the photos, you'll have like cats and boxed wine, because that's really, you know, what their life consists of. Let's keep going here. Cute dog, though. I'm a fan of dogs. After 22 years of marriage, Williams made up for lost time on the dating scene. Got to go through those men. For a year, that's what she did, hopping in bed with 8 men, which she chronicles in her memoir, Available, newly out in paperback release. Some of her things were afternoons of toe curling, lust on high thread count, hotel sheets. I did not need to know that information. There was a midnight booty call where she headed to a man's apartment wearing certain things over a puffer jacket, an older man obsessed with certain things, and some other things that I can't possibly mention here on YouTube. But she also had a few misses. She recalls one date where a man invited her to come to Brooklyn for a midday cafe meetup. He met her at the subway and invited her back to his place for a cup of coffee. After a round, the pair fell into bed together, blah, blah, blah. And she wasn't super into it. And she says, you know, that as a woman, she would always say yes, even if she wasn't entirely into the idea. The question was, do I feel like getting with you now? She recalls, and it's a literal yes or no. I don't really care about anything else. You don't even have to be a good person. It doesn't matter. You know what, guys? I think that's a wrap right there. That's what we really, this sentence, it's music to my ears, guys, because, you know, I can make episodes like this all day, okay? And I can sit here and say, look, a girl will get with you even if she doesn't like you, because her liking you has nothing to do with whether or not she's attracted to you. In fact, a lot of girls, you know, they'll get with the dudes that they actively don't like. They'll say that it's a red flag, but it's more of a green flag. And I can sit here and I can highlight that to dudes, and I'll have dudes in the comments say, oh, Taylor, you know, women just want a nice man. Okay, and yet you have damning evidence like this. This woman here says, you don't even have to be a good person. It doesn't matter. Well, say no more. Let's just throw the morals out the window. And, you know, guys, they wonder why, okay? Because the problem is, the more men that realize this, the less men are going to go out there and actually be chivalrous and actually be traditional towards women, okay? This is something, guys, this is my personal belief on the situation. You know, going back a little bit here, I think she says, you know, there's nothing wrong. Where is this sentence here? If you want to get with 2 dudes on the same day, you can, okay? Now, if society is going to adopt this attitude where this is somehow empowering for women, and you can go out here and you can do these things and we're not supposed to judge you, I'm sorry, but I'm not taking you out on dates. It's not happening. I'm not interested in paying for your meals. I'm not interested in doing anything with you of a traditional nature at all. Anything at all, to be honest with you. Like, why on earth would a guy go out here and say, yeah, look, I'm gonna spend some of my coin on that. Okay, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna take a woman on a date who does these sorts of things. Absolutely not, man. Now, if you're a dude and you want to go out there and you want to take women seriously who do this, be my guest. I wouldn't possibly recommend it. I would suggest that you frequent the doctors for some checkups, but it is what it is. Let's continue with the article here. Williams also found time in bed with men to be a great crash course in understanding what makes guys tick. Pillow talk for Williams would be a rapid-fire slew of questions. Well, isn't that just what you want, guys? You know, after some bedroom fun, you just get rapidly interrogated. Like, what is the point of the questions, by the way? It's not as if you're trying to get to know the dudes. She says, what do you like about this? How do you feel about that? Because I missed out on knowing that, and I wanted to understand adult men. She also felt dating at midlife was, for her, a superpower. I didn't buy into the theory because I was older, I was less desirable. Men were very attracted to the fact that I was a strong woman who didn't want anything with them and was calling the shots, explains Williams. You know, it's funny, right? Because she'll say that men are attracted to this, but they're not going to... Look, guys might get with you, especially like the older guys, okay? But they're not really going to be interested. The men who have self-respect are not going to commit to you. That's the problem. Like, girls will get to this age and they'll think, oh, dating is what it was when I was 20. If this woman were dating actively when she was 20, you know, when she was in her 20s and she wasn't married, let me tell you, she'd have a bit of a different perspective. Okay, because she'd be saying, oh, you know, my options have dwindled, things are so much worse now, but she has no perspective, okay? Yes, she can be 50 and she can go out there and get men, but compared to the same thing, when she was 20 years of age, it would not even be close, the kinds of options that she was getting. And even though she's getting dudes now, it doesn't mean that they want to have a future with her at all. Let's keep going. But being a middle-aged mother also meant balancing certain things with babysitter schedules. If I was having a good date and a man would kiss me goodbye, I would tell them, okay, I have 2 hours, let's go back to your place. She says some men were surprised by this, but many appreciated her no BS approach to love and lust. Yeah, many appreciated her approach. What a diplomatic way to put it. And here's her little book thing here called Empowering, Gripping, a very honest account of life after divorce. Guys, imagine, again, you're a dude, you go out there, you get married, you have a wife, okay, you have kids, you have a family, and then you just know that if you ever get divorced, she's just going out here, going through a whole bunch of men. Absolutely not, man. Today, Williams has found herself in a relationship. I am sorry to hear that for the man, but she is reluctant to label it as such. I've gotten attached to someone, but I still hold out the openness to say, if I wanted to have a one-night stand with someone, I could still do that. She also wants other women to realize just how much pleasure is out there and how bedroom fun can be a powerful tool for moving past heartbreak. It was important to me. It made me feel alive when I felt upset inside. I found strength that I didn't know I had, she adds. And also I found openness and certain curiosity I didn't ever in a million years imagine that I was capable of. So basically she's got a dude, and you know, she wants to continue to go see men at the same time because she doesn't want to, you know, throw away her escapades here of going to see random dudes. So we have here, in essence, guys, we have a single mother who says that nobody can judge her for the dating decisions that she chooses to make. She's gone and got herself a sucker, and now that she's in that relationship, quote unquote relationship, she's continuing to see other men. So basically she's got a dude on the side who's probably giving her money, who's giving her emotional support and validation, but she's still going out there and seeing other men, guys. Why? Because it is empowering and nobody can judge her. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, gentlemen, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Do you feel as though I've been a little bit harsh, or do you think that she should be judged for her actions out here in dating, guys? Make sure to leave your comments, your thoughts. And as always, gentlemen, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators over here at Fiend Gang, Hadan from Peace of Mind, and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. They've been putting out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. Their channels will be linked below. Also, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us for free over on Locals or Patreon. On Locals and Patreon, you guys get access to archived video content that is no longer available here on YouTube. And supporters also get access to exclusive videos where we cover different kinds of topics that you won't see me talk about here on YouTube, because to be honest, YouTube just really doesn't like it. There's video topics such as how broken families are created and how men can avoid it, bad traits that men can have, the reason why women chase married men, etc. So if you're interested in supporting, make sure that you go and check that out. And lastly, guys, if you're interested in getting a character made like mine, be sure to hit up our artist at the Gecko Ninja. He is linked in the video description as well. He's been doing art for Fiend Gang for quite some time, so if his stuff interests you guys, make sure that you hit him up for a commission. As always, he will be linked below the video. But with all that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one, for real this time. Peace.